Hello, all you crypto aficionados, and welcome to today's helping of crypto news. First of all, Bitcoin breached 30K twice. Not once, but twice. And this is the first time we've actually breached 30K basically since June. And every time we attack that 30K resistance, that resistance gets a little bit weaker. I do believe we retraced afterwards. We're at about 29,500 right now because of two main reasons. One is because the interest yield rates went up past 10%. Obviously, the higher the yield rates go, the less competitive crypto is against like bonds. So that's going to affect crypto. And because of that, the stock market went down, which also has a negative drag on crypto generally. So we've only retraced about 500 points as the market's dumped about 100 points on the stock market. So the thing is, like, yes, we did hit the resistance, we did bounce back, but I do think we're going to continue attacking it. I think we'll recover from the economic news later today, and we'll probably try to continue to attack it over the weekend. Although I don't really see any serious attempts at it over the weekend because the weekend generally is very, very low volume. Not a lot of people are trading, but I do think next week or the week afterwards, we will be breaking 30K. And that's because the ETF momentum is still there because, despite the ETF originally being fake news, everyone knows that it's going to get accepted sooner or later, so they're treating it as real news. And BlackRock has been fanning the flames as well themselves by insinuating that we're going to get one soon. BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity all refiled their ETFs to be more in line with SEC expectations. And of course, everyone knows the SEC basically lost to Grayscale in their attempt to convert GBTC shares into an ETF. So they're kind of on a timer and a clock to do so. And I do think the SEC is going to give up pretty soon on this ETF case because they have other legal cases to actually pursue. And of course, a lot of people are betting on November 19th as the date. I think there's a 30 or 40% chance that we get one on November 19th, but there's like almost 100% chance that we get one by January 10th, according to most analysts. And that is the deadline for ARK's ETF. So I do think like people are just going to treat it as if an ETF is kind of already accepted, and the price is going to slowly go up because of that. Also, BlackRock and other entities might be slowly buying BTC OTC in preparation for an ETF approval because we all know that ETF approval is inevitable. So that's why Bitcoin is attacking 30K. That's why I believe Bitcoin is going to keep attacking 30K. And that's why I believe there's nothing stopping Bitcoin from actually going over 30K eventually. It'll take a while, maybe, unless the ETFs actually approve. But I do believe we'll actually end October above 30K at this point, based on the direction that Bitcoin is actually going. I do not believe this is a FOMO event. It's been rising pretty slowly, and it's just hit a bit of a resistance at 30K. It's also hit a bit of a resistance because of other macroeconomic factors. So that's why I think Bitcoin will actually break 30K. The Cardano community is concerned about the latest update, and Charles has kind of like washed his hands from it. He says, ask the Cardano Foundation, it's not on me. Now, Charles is actually head of IOHK, but he does not head the Cardano Foundation. Those are two separate entities. And it's strange that he's actually separated himself from this decision. I don't think Charles actually approves of this decision. So the Cardano Foundation recently launched a delegation strategy, and it sparked criticism. And of course, members want clarification, which is up to the Cardano Foundation right now. So basically, Blockchain USA requested the founder of the Cardano blockchain, Charles, to actually clarify and provide details. But Charles, I don't think actually approves of the new things that are coming in. And he says like, hey, it's not on me. It's on the Cardano Foundation. I'm a head of IOHK. The Cardano Foundation is its own community. In response to the post, Hutchinson clarified his role with the Cardano ecosystem and stated that he was independent of the Cardano Foundation and its operations. And this was kind of a surprise, but I think most people that follow Cardano already know. I have nothing to do with the CF. It's a delegation strategy for general operations. If you have questions, take it up with them. So the Cardano Foundation is actually responsible for this delegation. I don't actually think Charles approves, which is why he's actually being so cold to it. So like, the present delegation strategy update includes 6 effective methodologies that would improve the quality and efficiency of the delegation process, one of which is an extended delegation period of 12 months and the reduction of pools to increase the size of packages. And they're obviously done to do for optimization of performance, but it seems like people do have people do actually have concerns that it's going to make support for pools and delegators to actually get support. So there's obviously like legitimate reason for concern, but right now it seems like Charles is like trying to like take himself out of it because he really wasn't part of the process to determine like what's going to go in this update. I don't know what this actually says for Cardano. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's not. I don't think it'll be a major problem. And I don't even know if this like SSPO will actually vote through, but we will see what it actually does. LBRY has been destroyed, and they finally sent the final LBRY message to its users. It's very sad because they didn't actually lose the appeal. They just didn't have enough money to fund the appeal anymore. So because of that, they are dropping the case and they are shutting down. It's important to note that the LBRY network is not shutting down and will operate as usual, but the foundation is shutting down because they just ran out of money. Remember, the SEC originally wanted like $20 million from LBRY Foundation, but they actually had to round it down to $111,000 because the LBRY Foundation didn't have any money at that point. So they are unfortunately bankrupt, and this is an example of a foundation that was basically harassed to death by the SEC because of securities violations, which, by the way, the judge did actually say that his ruling does not apply to secondary markets. So there is actually that takeaway from that. It's not real. They're not a real victory from the SEC. They basically like bankrupted a company by suing them. And they won't have that luck going against Coinbase, Binance, or Ripple because those companies are not short on money. But if you're invested in LBRY, you should have gotten out a while ago. But unfortunately, this is the final straw for LBRY, unfortunately. The SEC also annihilated Thorchain, and they actually won a crushing victory against Thorchain in the judgment of $2.6 million. But the thing is, like, this isn't actually a big blow to the crypto community. You know why? It's not like Thorchain like lost the case because they had bad lawyering. It's because they didn't they just didn't defend themselves. I think Thorchain was another project, a smaller project, which just couldn't afford high-priced lawyers that you have to fight the SEC. And because they didn't have high-priced lawyers to actually fight the SEC, they basically like just say like they just said like, you know what, we lose, we give up, and we're not going to fight you anymore because it's costing us more than it's actually worth. So Thorchain will be annihilated and it will shut down, unfortunately. So the SEC has two minor victories, but I don't think it's going to help them that much in the larger scheme of their lawsuits going their way. Crypto mixers are in big trouble. FinCEN, which is much scarier than the SEC, actually has said that crypto mixers may be classified as money laundering operations. Now, you can't put a KYC on the crypto mixer, but you can put KYC on two other sides of the crypto mixer, and they're going to be tracking accounts hard that are actually using crypto mixers. So if you're using a crypto mixer, you just might be on FedWatch. And if you're on FedWatch too much, you know that the Fed has many ninjas, IRS tax agents, and ninjas that can actually send after you. So unless you have to use a crypto mixer, I would actually not use a crypto mixer because that's going to trigger so many red flags on your financial accounts. And the feds, I think, are going to just scrutinize you much, much harder if you use a mixer. Now, I'm actually against this. They've actually gotten this through because of the whole Hamas crypto thing, which is, I think, complete baloney because they did say they stopped using crypto specifically because crypto was actually easier to track. So the thing is, this is actually a very, very bad, well, it's kind of a bad thing for crypto, obviously, especially for privacy advocates, because like now a lot of them will actually want to use mixers. Notably, like I will admit, a lot of them probably want to use mixers for purposes of like tax evasion and stuff like that, which I'm generally not for, obviously. But the thing is, like, for people that just want privacy of transactions, they're probably going to be hit by this pretty hard. So crypto mixers could finally be in trouble. And of course, Binance might be shutting down their European debit card. This is because of regulations. Europe is clamping down on some of this stuff, and companies like Visa and MasterCard are shutting down crypto cards, which is why this is actually happening right now. So this is it's pretty crappy for crypto. And of course, like the rest of the cards are actually in trouble because of regulatory scrutiny as well. So while Binance is really ending their Visa card in Europe from Twitter, what a shame. I've literally paid all my living experiences for the last 3 years with crypto through this card. It's not looking good. So they will be operational until the 20th of December this year, but after that, they will become non-operational. from Binance. Dear Binancean, we wanted to draw your attention to the email from norepliescontest.com below. Regrettably, you are among the small number of Binance users affected by the announcement that the Binance Visa debit card program is closing. You will no longer be able to use your Binance Visa debit card from the 20th December. Your Binance account is unaffected, will continue to operate as usual. I don't actually think this will affect the crypto market all that much because I think very few people actually use crypto to pay for stuff. But it is a bad step for people that were really hoping that crypto would actually gain like either some notoriety or gain some more use cases besides just speculation. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.